Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of the primetime newscast in the English language on Canal International. We begin with our top stories. The dark cloud over the reason of last Sunday's massacre of 10 persons at Nacho Junction in Bamenda is getting clearer. According to our reporters in Bamenda, who carried out a field investigation on the senior city, the assailants were on revenge action after military raid earlier killed 5 young men of doubtful character in the quarter on information from our neighbors. A Standard Chartered Bank has sealed a deal with Nigerian Access Bank to sell its subsidiaries in sub-Saharan Africa for more profitable markets in the region. In a release signed recently by the British Multinational Bank, it disclosed the decision was in line with its global strategy to achieve operationality, efficiency, and drive scale. And the Cameroon Football Federation is receiving a financial boost of over 3.7 billion francs CFA from the World Football governing body FIFA funds. The FICAFOOT presidency will help in the realization of the federation projects like proximity stadia, among others. Those are major stories. Details like Good evening once more. The dark cloud over the reason for last Sunday's massacre of 10 persons at Nacho Junction, Bamenda, northwest region of Cameroon is getting clearer. According to our reporters in Bamenda, who carried out on the field investigation on the senior city, the assailants were on a revenge action after a military raid earlier killed 5 young men of doubtful character in the quarter, and information from the neighbors. More on the story with our reporter Saleh Sharifa and Annie Collins. Annie.
It is from here at Awin Quarters, about 500 meters from the Nacho Junction in Bamenda 1 subdivision, that most of the victims of last Sunday's killings were pulled out from their houses and ferried to Nacho Junction in Bamenda 2 on board 2 vehicles and shot dead. According to eyewitness, the assailants fired warning shots and after obtaining silence, announced the reason for the action.
It overworried me. I asked Papa God, say, why you never get solution for this fighting? Why? It is 11 people, they did die. They did die every day.
The Archbishop of Bamenda, who made it to the scene on Ghost Town Monday, condemned such practice after a shot on the spot impromptu mass.
Within these past days, this last week, we lost 6 children in this quarter, and now again we have lost 10 people within this same quarter, and that is why I came out of my house to come here to this place where it happened a couple of hours ago, so that we pay our last respects to the people who are here. It's a very painful moment for all of us.
A few other victims were shot while trying to run away, like 56-year-old Alfred J., who hails from Babatu in Santa subdivision, whose wife begged Canal the reporters to air this message to the government.
Me they see into this problem because wait the way it happened yesterday. Now 15 people they be killed, and so they be carry the 15 corpses and bring them for general hospital. Me Cameroon government open eye, see wait the way it pass.
mostly inhabited by the poor, the undulating and slippery land of the Awing quarters was in a sad mood as neighbors kept streaming in for condolences, like in the house of this newly wedded couple who died leaving behind 3 young children.
Since we were kids, till date, my brother, I never saw my brother anywhere fighting or anything or quarreling with somebody. He's always a calm and peaceful somebody.
It should be noted that this incident follows yet another one few days earlier in the same quarter, whereby after a tip-off, the military gunned down 5 strange young men who had forced themselves into an abandoned house and reportedly taken 2 girls hostage and actively preparing a birthday party. So Sunday's massacre was like a revenge.
Vehicle owners and motorbike riders in Cameroon's economic city Douala continue to frown at what they have described as barbaric and aggressive controls by different control agents spotted at different street corners in Cameroon's economic city Douala. It is practically a difficult cohabitation between vehicle owners, bike drivers, and the control agents, who are also accused of extorting huge amounts of money from these drivers. More in the following story. It is a tense atmosphere each time a vehicle is stopped by persons who pass as control agents at strategic street corners of Douala. At the sight of a control agent described as unscrupulous, drivers of both vehicles and motorcycles will not immediately comply. They will struggle to bypass the control agents, but the meet tough resistance from the control agents will stop in an aggressive manner that could lead to accidents. Sometimes fighting erupts and passengers are trapped. Thus, an unfriendly, uncordial and tense relationship between motorbike and vehicle drivers as against control agents. They have described their method of control as barbaric. They just exaggerate. They will stop you before you know it. Your bike is being pulled. They are just so aggressive. They are not even conscious that you are transporting people. We condemn their method, stopping vehicles and motorcycles. They come in numbers of 10. They all fall on you, pull you from back and front. Their method is so poor. Their job on the field contrasts their mission imposed on them by councils. They ask for every document, which should not be the case. At Carrefour Thief, we met this control by the syndicates and the police. Parts of the mixed control, we had to check their mission order, question their method of tracking down vehicles and criteria of recruitment. We admit that some really exaggerate. They go completely against the norms. They are brutal. But that's why we are here to redress each time it goes overboard. When a vehicle is controlled for more than 10 minutes, we come out and intervene. We are here to fight also against clandestine transportation. We are recognized by the Prime Minister. But the bike riders disagree. They insist it's not the role of these multiple control agents to control all documents. Most told me they are acting in bad faith, are criminals, and simply out to harass and extort huge sums of money from them. The role of municipal police have been well defined, yet there are lots of fake individuals who infiltrate the sector and harass drivers and the local population. Gladys Ambo Dibang talked to a trade union leader with laid emphasis on how these fake council agents can be identified. Her story.
Decree number 2022/354 of August 9, 2022 lays down conditions for carrying out municipal policing in Cameroon. Their role as municipal police agents are specified, and these include, amongst others, ensuring security in public places, fighting against urban disorder and any threats to the community. They, however, have to be officially recruited and trained before exercising their duties.
Le maire peut lancer un avis de recrutement.
A mayor can launch a recruitment, and according to the requirements, Cameroonians aged 18 to 30 are eligible to apply. And after recruitment, the candidates are trained in a center either at the Military Engineering Corps or at the Mbopi Gendarmerie in Douala. They are trained on civic instructions, respect of their duties on the field. Unfortunately, fake municipal council police agents have taken hold of the sector. They wear jackets just like other municipal police agents, intercept vehicles, harass passers-by, and provoke accidents. According to trade union leader Augustin Lemaleux, a council police agent must be mandated by a mayor before he goes out for any checks. It is easy to differentiate between a fake and a real council police agent. Each time a driver is intercepted by the council police, they have the right to present their mission order because this is the document that has been signed by the mayor who sends them afield. None of them can go to exercise their duties without being mandated by a mayor. Most of the council police agents hardly present themselves once they intercept drivers, and these usually lead to confrontations. A glaring example of one of their misconduct provoked an accident that left 2 deaths at Granga Bonaberi in Douala on July 17, 2023.
An alleged gang of criminals specialized in pickpocketing at the Douala International Airport have been neutralized. This follows investigation opened after a series of complaints laid at the airport. More on the story with our reporter, Saleh Sharifa.
These are the items this group of young Cameroonians have been using to smuggle into the Douala Airport luggage store. For the past 6 months now, the Douala International Airport, through export and import, has experienced all kinds of thefts. The most targeted luggage are computer tools coming from or leaving Douala Airport.
One of the culprits, through investigations, we came to discover a series of people who were so much involved, and some are still running. But what is very important is that the ADC is complaining of a loss of almost 180 million francs. It's not, it's not a small money. And also, one of the culprits, the main suspect himself, Wajan Magi, cooperated, even told us how to plant cameras or the various places to plant cameras.
Following numerous complaints from Douala Airport, an investigation was opened on March 28, 2023. Amongst this investigation plan was the implementation of video surveillance cameras within premises of the airport by the Gendarmerie Company for use. One of the suspects on these videos, which helped nail down his collaborators.
We have a series of telephones, we have iPads, Orange, we have other different categories of telephones. We also have computers and even money.
According to the forces of law and order, the investigations prove that the Douala Airport has been victim of theft since the month of January 2023. The presumed thugs were apprehended with 2,500 mobile phones and some electrical devices, thus causing a loss of around 180 million CFA francs.
Marwa in the far north region of Cameroon has been in tears for some hours now. This following the death of the Lamido of Marwa. Bakari Yerima Buba died at the Yaoundé General Hospital on his sickbed and was immediately buried following the Muslim tradition. A big loss for the far north region of Cameroon. He was a staunch religious and traditional figure. He is a 12th monarch of the Lamida dynasty of Marwa. He took over the throne at the age of 45 in 2003. He was a member of the Far North Regional Council. Standard Chartered Bank has sealed a deal with the Nigerian Access Bank to sell its subsidiaries in sub-Saharan Africa for more profitable markets in the region. In a release signed recently by the British Multinational Bank, it disclosed the decision was in line with its global strategy to achieve operationality, efficiency, and drive scale, a decision which economists have described as a wise one. Our reporter Gladys Amodiba has been talking with some economists. Her story.
The agreement to sell its shareholdings in Cameroon, Angola, the Gambia and Sierra Leone to Nigeria's Access Bank comes a year after the British multinational bank announced it would exit several markets in sub-Saharan Africa to focus on potential growing markets in the region, a decision which experts believe is economically wise for the banking institution.
In 2021, in Cameroon, the bank decided to stop retail banking and concentrate on corporate, commercial, and investment banking. So that is what it concentrated on. And certainly, some of the branches in this part of the world, that is in sub-Saharan Africa, have not been performing well any longer. So in their desire to achieve operational efficiency, they want to shrink their branches. They want to reduce some of the branches. And to do that, it is economically wise that they will not want to go and shut branches that are performing well.
To the economist Georges Edimo Mongori, the COVID-19 pandemic dealt a blow on the British multinational bank, which certainly affected its revenue and discouraged potential investors.
Since the COVID year in 2021, many of those banks made bad business, and one of the most affected was Standard Chartered with a deficit of about more than 1 or 2 billion. That is shown enough to discourage an institution like that bank.
With the foreign bank about to spread its tentacles in the banking sector in Cameroon, it is feared it would have an impact on local financial institutions.
The existing banks with another actor that is coming to the market, as of now, they are going to be announcing the gamut of products and services that they are bringing to the market. And this is going to beckon on to customers of the other banks to come work with them. The other aspect of competition that they're going to be facing is position. Banks are usually ranked.
Following a release made public July 14, 2023 by Standard Chartered Bank, the deal between the two financial institutions will be completed over the next 12 months, but the value of the deal remains undisclosed.
And presiding officers of Commonwealth countries Africa region has begun, opened by the Prime Minister and Head of Government Joseph Dion-Ngute. It is an opportunity to see the future economic transformation of the continent in line with the 2063 agenda. More on the story with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamo.
Cameroon, for the first time, is playing host to the 18th Conference of Speakers and Presiding Officers of Commonwealth Countries, Africa region. Working under the theme, African Parliaments, the Agenda 2063, a vision set for her, which is the transformation of the continent into an economic center for the future. Focus will be on issues of great importance to our Parliament and people, such as
securing public trust, the role of African parliaments in the implementation of African Continental Free Trade Area, addressing the challenges of food security in Africa by promoting investments in agriculture, the devastating impacts of climate change, a call for more parliamentary intervention.
Useful platform for the speakers and presiding officers to bring out the potential of Parliament as cornerstone of democracy.
It is fitting that 2023 CISPOC is taking place in Cameroon, a country that has made tremendous strides in building democracy and democratic institutions. We hope to draw lessons from one another during this conference, share experiences and best practices for the betterment of our parliaments and our region at large.
Officiated by the Prime Minister and Head of Government of Cameroon, Joseph Dion-Ngute, who used the occasion to portray moves to make Cameroon a modern and socially advanced country. He thus lauded the participants.
You are a source of ideas. You are ambassadors whose pleas have been convincing in the past. I hope that this conference will help to lay the foundations for a promising future, based on an appropriate assessment of the progress made in the implementation of the first 10-year plan of Agenda 2063.
The Yaoundé resolution at the end will show advanced parliament of Commonwealth countries in the African region.
And the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, is receiving a financial boost of over 3.7 billion francs CFA from the World Football Governing Body. FIFA funds the FECAFOOT presidencies will help in the realization of the federation projects like proximity stadia from 2023 to 2026. The Federation President Samuel Eto'o made a declarations in a press conference in Granting Yaoundé today. More on the story with our reporter, Haisincha.
Before the men and women of the press at the FECAFOOT headquarters in Yaoundé, this Tuesday, July 18, the president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o, revealed that the FIFA audit team has just ended their work at the federation, quitting the country this morning while according a huge amount of money to the football house.
La FIFA nous a donné la somme maximum de $6,500,000.
FIFA has given us the maximum sum of $6,500,000 that will permit the federation to attain its objectives from 2023 to 2026. This will enable us to construct the proximity stadia to accompany government action. This will permit young players who are not privileged to play in fields like Olembe and Japoma to also play in good pitches.
Les jeunes Camerounais qui n'ont pas la chance peut-être de jouer à Japoma ou encore à Olembe, de jouer dans ces stades.
And in the same light, FIFA is equally pumping in the sum of $401,515.95 as reward for the then two local players, Jerome Gom and Maro Swaibu, who took part in the World Cup. The cash to be distributed to the clubs concerned as follows.
APGS d'Unfu,
APGS of $73,090, Column of Sangmelima, $109,504.35 Coton Sport of Gara,
$9,008.70.
The distribution, however, may not be the same as prescribed by the World Football Governing Body, following the accord of all elite clubs before the World Cup.
That report by Haisincha brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast in the English language on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. But coming up next is our debrief with Leo Peugeot. As for me, I'll be back same time, this time around tomorrow. Good night.